We are traveling now in the land of the X, the ologies, and the ometries. X, ologies, and ometries. They are friends of yours, but perhaps you know them better by their full names. Mathematics.
Mathematics.
Economics.
Economics.
Electronics.
Electronics.
Biology.
Biology.
Sociology.
Sociology.
Geometry.
Geometry.
There are many other vehicles in the land of X, ologies, and ometries, vehicles such as genetics, zoology, and trigonometry. But by now you've guessed that they are all in the science and math areas. On this particular trip, we're interested in a particular kind of scenery, what is seen in math and science books. In other words, reading in the math science areas. A computer is a tireless servant of man, freeing human minds from the time-consuming calculations necessary in the fields of science and mathematics. But a computer is only a servant. People, or other machines people have built, feed the figures into a computer and indicate what operations it is to perform. And people read the results and decide what they mean. As you sit at your desk in your math or science class working problems, you are much better equipped to find solutions than all the computers in the world put together, provided you use your advantages. One of your outstanding advantages is that you can read. You can collect your own information, adding to it the wealth of information you have read or heard in the past, and use it to make decisions. It may seem strange to suggest to someone struggling with a page of sets and operations that he is working on reading problems, or stranger still to suggest that every science experiment is first of all a reading lesson, but it's true. Just as a reading glass focuses the sun's rays, your reading skill brings all the facts to focus. And what happens next happens systematically. Systematically, the match head flames up, warming the air in the tube, making it expand so that it pushes the cork out of the tube. It happens the same way every time, time after time, systematically. Just as 2 plus 2 equals 4 every time, using any numerical system, for math and science are systematic bodies of knowledge. So if you sometimes seem to be going around in circles with math or science, perhaps your confusion arises from the way you read in these areas, rather than from the subjects themselves. Reading depends on your skill in identifying symbols. In the math area, you are well acquainted with the operation symbols which tell you to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. You know the meaning of the equality symbol. But do you know the meaning of this symbol? Or this one? Or this one? There are many symbols you may find reading in the math science areas which will be new to you. And you must treat such symbols differently from the way you would treat a new word in ordinary reading material. For example, here is a symbol you might find while reading in science. Let's assume you don't know the meaning of the symbol. In ordinary reading, you can often guess at the meaning of a new term by the way it's used, by its context. Here is how our symbol is used in one science book. You can guess that H2O is the symbol for some liquid, but which one? gasoline, maple syrup, salad oil? The symbol H2O means water and only water, so you would be wrong to guess anything else. The language of science and math is very exact, too exact for guessing. When you meet new symbols or words in your reading in science and math, don't guess. Look them up or ask your teacher. You cannot find what you're asked to find until you know exactly what the words and symbols mean. Once you know what a symbol means, you have a clue for what to do next in math, provided the symbol is stated. Here you add. Here you multiply. Here you subtract. Here you divide. But as you well know, in many math problems, the operation symbols aren't given. You must study the problem, decide what to do with the sets, decide which operation to use, and write an equation. Often the problem is half solved if you read it correctly, and the more times you read it, the more likely you are to read it right. Let's try it. Read this problem as I read it to you. A grocer bought 5 boxes of squash for his store. Each box contained 14 squash. He sold the squash for 15 cents each. How much money did he receive for all the squash? So what will your answer be in? Dollars and cents, boxes, or sets of squashes? That's right. You're looking for an answer that represents a certain sum of money. If you will always read the problem through until you are sure what is asked for, you won't come up with incomplete answers because you forgot one of the operations. To decide which operations to use when no symbols are given, review with your mind the different operations. Here is the operation multiplication. Will you use it? Yes. You want to find how many in all there are in 5 equal sets of 14. And also how many dollars and cents the grocer will receive selling all the squash at an equal price, 15 cents. By reviewing operations, you know which operational symbols to use to set up your equation. The symbol for multiplication. The rest is arithmetic. And if you work the arithmetic as carefully as you have just read your problem, you will have the right answer. Your understanding of many of the things you read in science may depend on how well you can read a diagram. Diagrams are entirely different from signs and symbols. Signs and symbols have exact meanings. You cannot guess or use your imagination with them. But diagrams such as this demand that you use your imagination. And sometimes it takes plenty. This diagram represents the molecular structure of paraffin, the stuff from which candles are made. A molecule is too small to see, yet each molecule in this candle has 26 atoms of carbon and 54 atoms of hydrogen. The diagram shows you how the atoms are arranged, if you will use your imagination to visualize a tiny bit of matter with so many different parts. Another diagram in a science book may indicate the meeting of a cold air mass with a warm air mass. Is cold air really blue? Do you suppose cold air always moves from left to right? Of course not. But here, as with all diagrams, you must use your imagination to see what actually cannot be seen. Using your imagination to read the diagrams will clarify the textbook description. The experiments you find in your science books can help you understand the material in the text, but only if you read the experiments in a special way. Read the experiment as if you were a scientist trying to discover a truth never known before. Such people do not experiment just to see what will happen. They think they know what will happen, and they experiment to prove it. Dr. Jonas Salk thought he could kill viruses which cause polio and use these killed viruses to make a vaccine which would immunize people against polio. That's what he set out to prove. And what a scientist sets out to prove is called the hypothesis. Science books usually present several pages of text material before the experiments. The facts in the text can help you develop a hypothesis as you read the experiment the first time. Develop some statement which you think the experiment may prove. Many times a text will state the hypothesis. For example,
notice that the bone is shaped like a tube. So are most of the long bones in a chicken and in all other bony animals, including you. Do you suppose that this shape has a special advantage? One advantage is that the space in the tube can be used for marrow. But many bones have no marrow, and yet they are tube-shaped. Is there some other advantage in this shape? Let's find out.
Let's find out. Let's find out if there is some other advantage of a hollow tube compared to structure made of the same amount of material. There probably is such an advantage. That's our hypothesis. Now we read the experiment through again to see what materials we need to perform it and what we are to do with them. With the materials assembled, 2 pieces of paper and tape to fasten them, we read the experiment step by step as we go along, following the directions exactly. That's all we're supposed to do with this piece of paper in this step. Now we read and follow the next step in the directions. There's that step completed. And now to compare the solid shaft and the hollow shaft made from the same amount of material. Does the experiment prove our hypothesis? Is there an advantage to the hollow shape? What is the advantage? So that you can review the steps necessary in reading an experiment, we're going to give you 5 seconds to supply the number of the correct answers in a short quiz on reading experiments. Why do you read the text material first? To get the facts used in the experiment. If no hypothesis is stated, why do you read the experiment all the way through the first time? To develop a hypothesis, to decide what the experiment may prove. Why do you read the experiment again? To carry out the directions in order. If you always take these 3 steps when you read an experiment, you'll have the satisfaction of discovering many of the truths in our scientific world at first hand. And that includes those studying the science of home economics. A recipe, like an experiment, has a hypothesis you can eat if you read the recipe through and get the hypothesis in mind. And then reread as you go along to get the steps in the correct order. In the future, your families will test your ability to read home economics experiments 3 times a day. So learn now to do it well.
It says 2/3 of a cup of milk. Making twice as much, what would it be? 2/3 times 2, 4/3, or 1 1/3 cups of milk. Pour the milk.
It may seem a long way from the everyday arithmetic of figuring amounts of ingredients when you want to double a recipe for muffins, to the highly complex transactions handled by a computer, which may be charting man's voyages into space. Yet the youngsters at home and the adults at the Space Flight Operations Center are all involved with reading the math science areas, all contributing to research in the ICS and the ologies. Your success with reading in the math science areas will give you satisfaction right now, but even more important, it will prepare you for greater satisfactions to come as you take your place in a scientific world.